something slick, Ric Flair?
Rest in peace.
Scotland. He also knows how to be cool. Hot rod comes from the
Family, my friends, my country.
There are complications. Factors, elements, combustible elements, namely...
Who are these people?
Tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these people?
Who are these people?
Welcome to this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm Angel Rivera alongside Miss Vicky. How are you doing?
Oh, hanging on. I was listening to a little bit of Jim Cornette before, when I was at work this morning. So I'm ready to go as best I can be.
Yeah, I'm ready to. I'm just, trying to get shit ready because, let's see. Sorry about that. Hope everybody had a great week. Let's see. And another Saturday. I mean,
Our topic of discussion, discussion. I can't even talk today. Blah, 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 blah. Our first priority. If Nick is out there, Nick, I'm sorry I missed your show. My son's father came late, so I wasn't able to get on. And by the time I was able to get on, it was too late. So my son's father actually picked him up. So,
well,
no, it was cool. They get to hang out, this weekend. It's kind of like them too. So, you know, you have that father-son bonding time. So,
yeah. So, oh yeah. So I think I talked about this a little bit last night, but Donald Trump is going to make an appearance on Undertaker's podcast some point next week, I'm guessing.
right.
Yeah, because the Undertaker already filmed kind of an endorsement for Trump on Trump's TikTok. So
Yeah. Well, and like I said I think I said last night in the chat room that I mean, this just sounds like a storyline. I mean, Taker might be conservative and stuff, or Mark might be conservative, but it feels like this is just political theater to me, and it seems like it's a storyline. You know what I mean? Because if you've been following politics and wrestling are so much alike, so they've been, in the same boat, and they're just alike. So I mean, Trump's trying to stay relevant, and literally Taker and them are just in a storyline. Now, I already didn't like Glenn Jacobs because he was a Republican.
Yeah.
And I don't like Republicans or Democrats. So I hate both sides. And so I really didn't really care for Glenn Jacobs to begin with. I really didn't care about Mark's affiliation. I thought Mark was cool, but I mean, I really didn't like the Undertaker gimmick. It just wasn't me. I was more Mr. Perfect or Stone Cold or, so, so to me, this just feels like a storyline, where people are trying to stay relevant, and, you have heels and baby faces. Excuse me. So I just think that this all screams kabuki theater, and it all screams like a story, a storyline.
Yeah, this all of a sudden people are pretending that Batista's better Undertaker now. I like Batista better anyway.
I know, yeah, I don't like Batista. I hated that dude
that's
anyway.
bullshit. Yeah, I'm guaranteed these are same people that loved Undertaker just last week.
I don't understand, like everyone's like, oh, then you like Batista. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I hated the guy. I didn't like any of his movies. I hated his wrestling, and yeah.
The only reason why he got over because all of a sudden he got over with the son-in-law because they're ready to fire him, and so all of a sudden he started working out with the son-in-law, aka Triple H. So
Triple
that's how
H.
he got. That's how
Mm-hmm.
he got the push and became world champion eventually. But it
Right.
wasn't like it wasn't like he's old.
Again, blah blah blah. See, I told you I can't talk. But yeah, like this is just for this is just Trump trying to remain relevant. Excuse me. Sorry about that. This is just Trump trying to stay relevant. It's Taker, I guess, coming out as conservative. And like I said, not a big Mark fan, but I mean, I wasn't a big Undertaker fan. I like Mark's podcast because it's sort of like, he tells the story of, the old ways, the old locker rooms and how they used to be. I'm just not a big fan. I just wasn't a big fan of The Undertaker, and I didn't like Glenn Jacobs. I wasn't a big fan of Kane either. So I picked none of you. How about that? I picked none of you. But yeah, like Dave Bautista, I never liked him either. I didn't like his wrestling. I didn't like any of his gimmicks. And I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy. I just don't like them. My dad watches them all the time, and I'm just like, Dave Bautista, how the mighty have fallen, that kind of thing. But he needed to go back to movies because he ran out of money, I think, because of like divorce or something. So it's like almost like he's like Ric Flair,
Yeah,
it's like a Ric Flair happening here.
After he left WWE the first time, after that first run ended, I mean, he went broke, and then he stumbled into Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's how he became this big Hollywood superstar. Even though it was an easy performance, so you watch it, it was like it's him just being a big monster, which is what he was anyway. So it wasn't like he
I
did
didn't
an
really like those
incredible
movies.
acting job. So it wasn't like he did an incredible acting job. He just
Right.
stumbled into his role that made his
Like,
career in Hollywood. So yeah, let's last night. I think it was last Saturday or whatever was the AEW WrestleDream show. We gotta knock this out real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. So there were 4 pre-show matches. And there were 13 matches overall on this card. 13, including the pre-show matches. Because Brian Cage defeated Atlantis Jr. for the television title in 11 minutes. I didn't watch it, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Anna Jay defeated Harley Cameron by pinfall in 8 minutes. Okay. The Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster with Daddy Ass Billy Gunn defeated MXM Collection, Mansoor and Mason Madden with Rico. They brought back Rico, by the way. I'm not sure you remember Rico from the Attitude Era, but
no, I don't.
he used to be with Billy and Chuck when they were homosexual.
I must have missed that one. I think I was still watching WCW at the time.
And hold on, Rico. I know his name is Rico Cons. Okay. 63 years old. I mean, he's surprised. He doesn't look that old. He debuted in WWF on March 21st, 2002 episode of SmackDown as a stylist of Billy and Chuck. So they were like doing the homosexual gimmick, and he was their stylist.
Of course.
So Rico portrayed a homosexual stylist as his gimmick.
Yeah. No wonder I don't remember him.
And
I was more interested in Perfect coming back, Mr. Perfect.
He debuted in 2002, and he was fired by 2004.
Yeah.
And he never he wrestled in Japan a little bit, and then in Future Star, it was Japan. I last time I saw him, he was a cop. So he was a cop in Vegas. So yeah, see here it is. He entered the Northwestern Military Academy. He returned to Vegas and settled to a career as a paramedic, which led to enrollment in police academy. Constantino was also on a SWAT team at one point, paving the way to the next career as bodyguard. So now he's in AEW managing this MXM collection, which used to be they were in WWE as Maximum Male Models.
Okay.
So basically the same gimmick, but a different name. So they're just ripping off what they did in WWE. So that's who Rico Constantino is. He's back he's back. Of course, Tony's hiring all the wrestlers he saw in the Attitude Era in 2001 and 2 and stuff. So no reason hiring Rico. I mean, people forgot. I even forgot he existed until I saw him on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Like, wait, is that Rico? That's Rico. That's the gay stylist for Billy and Chuck. That's the only time I remember this guy.
Yeah.
So the next match, the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly and the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magman with Rocky Romero defeated the Dark Order. And the premier athletes, Arya Davari, Tony Nese with Smart Mark Sterling, Josh Woods, and Evil Uno by pinfall. What a wordful that is.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mouthful, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, nope, I'm not gonna try it. You try it.
11 minutes and 30 seconds.
Mm.
Again, I didn't really pay attention to it, so it's just in the background. It was a pre-show, it was free, so it was like, all right. The first match on the pay-per-view, the Hangnail. No, it's Jay White defeated Hangnail Adam Page by pinfall in 16 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, I listened to Jim Cornette, and he's like, this is it's garbage wrestling for garbage, AEW is just garbage. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, it was terrible match. I mean, the way it was described, it was like, and I saw clips on X. Everybody loves posting clips of the pay-per-views on X. So who cares? Mariah May, women's world champion, defeated Willow Nightingale by pinfall in 10 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, so Jim talked about this too, and he's like, they have too many girls. He was just saying there's too many girls, and why don't they just make it a women's show and literally just see how it goes, right? Just too many girls doing garbage wrestling. Enough is enough.
They suggested that before with AEW. Make Rampage or Collision a women's show and see whether that works. Because
it won't.
It won't. But I'm just saying, they should experiment, because they're just sticking these women for no reason in these cards, and with no stories. Like, oh yeah, here's two women for no reason. So there you go. Jungle Jackoff. The TNT champion Jungle Jackoff defeated Katsuyori Shibata by pinfall in 9 minutes and 20 seconds.
Jim didn't even care about this match. I'm sorry, I just knocked down something, but go ahead.
Well, the Jungle Jackoff. Why would anybody care? I mean, it's like,
no one gives a crap about him anyway. So, to be honest, it's just like I said, garbage wrestling for a garbage network, and that's AEW in a nutshell. So.
So, Katsuyori Shibata is the guy. He has the gimmick where he uses his phone, and the phone translates what he says for him. So, if people want to know who that is, that's his gimmick.
Worse.
Yeah, that's his gimmick right now. So
that's even worse.
The next match was
English.
The next match was the three-way dance or three-way match for the AEW Intercontinental International Championship.
Jim Cornette said the same.
Yeah, Konosuke
take a shit.
Yeah, take a shit with Don Callis defeated Will Ospreay and Ricochet by pinfall.
Right. So and then Kyle Fletcher comes out, and you don't see him at first because he's wearing all black and he's got the mask on, or he's got his face covered. And Jim Cornette was like, it took so long for them to unmask him or uncover his face that literally they're like, oh come on, who is it? It was Kyle Fletcher.
Kyle Felcher. I mean,
Felcher. I'm sorry. Yeah, what did I say?
I don't. Yeah, that's his correct name. But yeah,
I meant that. Sorry.
To take a shit. So he's the new international champion,
right? Right, because Kyle. Yeah, he something happened with Kyle and came out and hit him. He hit Osprey or Ostrich, hit him over the head with the screwdriver, and then Osprey or no, take a shit covered him, and got the 1, 2, 3, and then they're just kind of standing in the ring. What's his name? Kyle what?
Fletcher.
Okay. Anyway, Kyle just
Mhm.
kind of stands there and looks around and doesn't really do anything, but he's just kind of standing there mute. I guess that's the greatest angle he ever had, was just remaining mute at that point.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a garbage match. It was bunk from the beginning. And like I said, we will talk about the whole bag over the head, which again
we'll
was garbage wrestling. It was bad the
get to
first
that.
time and even worse the second time, but
So-
I do go on, please.
Yeah. The next match was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Hologram defeated the Beast Mortals 2 falls to 1 in 16 minutes and 40 seconds.
And Jim Cornette said, I mean, nobody
Mm.
gave a shit about this match. Everybody kind of didn't watch it. So we move on. I mean, it was worthless. I mean, the first one went to Hologram. The second one went to the other guy. And then I think the third one
went to Hologram. He won the match.
Hologram, right.
So Hologram is Tony Khan's kind of, his
Tony Khan's creation.
Yeah, his idea and his child, basically. He's been thinking about this gimmick for years, and he just handed it to this guy, whoever he is, and now he's Hologram. So I never seen him once. I guess he's supposed to disappear and reappear in other places. I don't understand the gimmick.
But it's just as Jim Cornette put it, it was just such it was such crap. It was such crap. No one, like I said, no one gave a crap about this match. No one really cared. They didn't like it. They thought it was boring, and literally the crowd sitting there like, statues.
That wasn't good. All right. The next match was Darby Allin defeating Brody King by pinfall in 12 minutes and 20 seconds.
I mean, Jim Cornette compared this to Mowgli and Baloo. He didn't want to do it, but he had to do it, And Darby Allin does not look like a wrestler. He looks like a skateboarder who needs to go back to the skate park. And that's all you should do for the rest of your stupid little miserable life. Because something about, someone came out and said, well, what happens, if you climb Everest and you pass on? What happens if you are deleted? Where's the company going to be? Because literally this is also a Tony Khan creation here as Darby Allin. And literally they're like, where is the company going to be if you are deleted? They're stupid. If you go climb Mount Everest and you end up getting deleted. Makes no sense.
They've invested a lot of time and money in Darby Allin. He spent years with Sting to try to get over because he was with Sting. So
and he's not over.
No, but they've been trying, and he's they put a lot of money into him. And what's worse is Tony Khan is going to let him climb Everest, whoever next year, whenever he actually tries to do it. That's the worst part. They're just going to let him. It's like, even though he's under contract, and he's going to keep sending him his checks, even though he's going to climb Everest. I'm like, you can climb Everest. I can't stop you, but you're not going to have a job. So
you're not going to do
what you got to do.
I mean, and even trained professionals, I mean, some of them have been deleted. Yeah. And they trained for many years
to be able
and
to
they still ended
Everest.
up, getting deleted.
So
whatever you want to self-delete yourself, go for it.
And
it would be better for the wrestling business, I think.
The next match has the Young Bucks defeating Private Party by pinfall to retain their AEW World Tag Team Championships in 15 minutes and 50 seconds.
This was just it was just what Jim Cornette said it was. It was horrible. It was disastrous. I don't even know why this is on a pay-per-view. They should give it away for free TV because it was just that horrible.
The Bucks just won't put anybody over. It's
true.
Like they think they're Hulk Hogan in 1986 and they don't have to put anybody over.
That's right.
I'm like, put somebody over.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that these guys deserved it. They're probably jabronis, but so are the Young Bucks. So it's not like so are the Young Bucks. They're full of jabronis in this match. So they act like, well, yeah, we're big stars. You're the EVPs. I mean, I'm sure that Tony's not going to say, "Oh no, you got to do a job." It's like we're not, and they turn into Hogan like this, like, nope, we're not doing a job.
God, yeah.
That meme, as soon as somebody won't do a job, is like, oh, there's Hogan. Like, they post that meme. It's like,
exactly. I like the artwork. They're both like this,
Mm-hmm.
and the other guy's like this, and I'm just
Yeah,
like, okay. Oof.
they won't do a job.
It was
So, all
brutal
right.
to listen to, even though Jim was like, "Yeah, this is just garbage." And next,
The next match had Mark Briscoe defeating Chris Jericho with Big Bill for the Ring of Honor World Title, which is at this point a meaningless world title. Like,
right,
why do you, it's a dead company. Tony Khan is not using it for anything. If he
right,
used it as a developmental territory, like WWE uses NXT, that's one thing. But they're not even doing. Tony's not even doing that. He's just featuring talent that's in their 40s and 50s for no
absolutely,
reason, you know,
yep,
on this some show.
yeah,
If he
absolutely,
if he used it as a developmental territory, like WWE uses NXT, and maybe have your 18, 19, 20, 21 year olds on this show with
hmm
some veterans mixed in who did teach them, maybe it would work. And you can resupply them, the main AEW with, those
right.
talents. Like WWE's doing NXT, but he's not even doing that. Mark Briscoe
No,
shouldn't be the champion. I mean, he's just
no,
like I always I compare him to a meth head. I mean, I'm sorry, he looks like a meth head. Like, why would you put the world title on a guy who looks like a meth head? Yes, he's
who?
maybe a
Mark
good
Briscoe?
wrestler. Yeah, yeah, you've
Oh,
seen
okay,
him. Like, he no teeth here, and he's bald. He looks like he's 650 years old. He doesn't
ooh,
look good.
okay.
Briscoe doesn't look good.
So since Jay has passed, Mark
Yeah,
just kind of went circling the drain there.
yeah. I don't.
Um, Jim Cornette says that this was one of the better Jericho matches. I don't like Jericho, so screw him. I think the match was horrible, even though I didn't see it. I don't think Chris Jericho should be even anywhere near a wrestling ring, let alone in matches. But kudos to Mark, even though he looks like death.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. He looks like he's. I'm like, you're putting a world title on him, even though the world title is kind of a joke. I mean, it's just Tony. Because I thought I can't take this gum anymore. I thought that I can barely talk with it. I thought when Ring of Honor went on sale, when Sinclair tried to sell it, I thought, well, Vince is going to buy it and put the tape library on Peacock.
hmm
Nope. Tony Khan came in with a ridiculous offer, bought up Ring of Honor, and is doing this with it. This garbage.
Yeah, this garbage.
It's more useful to be the tape library be on Peacock because you have all the old Seth Rollins matches, all the old like a lot of Kevin Owens matches. I mean,
hmm
all these guys that were at Ring of Honor 20 years ago are now in WWE for the most part. So
Sami Zayn, was he
Sami
with Kevin
Zayn,
Owens?
yeah, El Generico, he was a mute mass superhero, but
Mhm.
that was Sami Zayn's gimmick, and Ring of Honor. So
Should have stayed that way. Okay,
all right, so in
next.
the main event for the AEW World Title, Jon Moxley with Marina Shafir defeated Bryan Danielson by technical submission. So Jon Moxley once again your AEW World Champion for the sixth time.
Mhm. So Jim Cornette said, I don't know what Moxley's doing, but he should keep doing this because he doesn't look like there's extra Jon Moxley. He actually looks like he's in shape, and he's been going to the gym. Other than that, they didn't like this match either.
It
They kind of
it's
thought it was stupid.
it's literally like the KKK, except that they're not calling it that. I mean, the Black Bull Combat Club's turned into KKK. Yeah,
Right.
he shaved his head. They're beating up black wrestlers. They're trying to murder or delete wrestlers. With paper plastic bags over their heads for no
Right.
reason. It's like that Russell Crowe movie from the 90s. That's what they're copying, the Australian movie. So
Yeah.
it's like Dean Ambrose. John Moxley
Ah, you
saw
did
this
it
movie.
again.
He saw this movie and he fell in love with the gimmick and went to Tony. He's like, "Hey, can we do this?" He's like, "Oh yeah, of course you could," because he doesn't say no to his talent. He do shit.
Yeah. No,
Mm.
I totally get it. And like I said, it was bad the first time. It's even worse the second time when they, put the bag over the head. I thought that was so stupid. And again, they're doing it again. Like, oh, that was so cool the first time. No, it was bad the first time. And no wonder we call you garbage wrestling because this isn't good wrestling, guys. This is like bad Vince Russo writing. I had someone
And
on X try to convince me that somehow Vince Russo was the greatest writer ever. I went, first of
yeah, I
all, there
saw
should be
that.
no writers in wrestling. Second of all, He made himself champion. Then he made him an actor, a champion.
I saw that.
A wrestling
So,
champion.
This main event should have been worse because initially Tony Khan wanted to put the belt on Darby Allin.
Right.
So, and then Bryan Danielson or Dean Ambrose, John Moxley got into Tony Khan's ear and said put the belt on him because he's the bigger star. So he politicked his way to a world title for no reason again.
And I think they all do that, really. I think they all do that, where they just politic and say, oh, no, Tony, I deserve it. No, you don't.
It's like whoever gets to Tony last, that's what he decides. And, that's
Right.
what the finish is going to be, or the match is going to be. That's why Jericho is a master politician. I mean, he's still there, even though you shouldn't be anywhere near a wrestling ring right now. Like, people are so sick of him that he shouldn't be anywhere near a wrestling ring.
That's what
John
I
Moxley, John Moxley shouldn't be a world champion right now. I
Right.
mean, it's, and then they're doing this skinhead gimmick, and fucking Wheeler Yuta turned on Danielson too and started, trying to delete him with that that plastic bag for no reason.
And like I said, guys, I mean, they did it the first time, it was really bad. And they did it the second time, it was even worse.
So allegedly, Bryan Danielson is actually retired now, so he's not going to appear again. I don't believe that.
Thank the goddess for that. I mean, we needed to save him from himself.
Yeah, and WWE, WWE has saved a lot of these guys from their worst instincts. Like, as soon as they go to AEW, all of a sudden they're doing a lot of the shit that they shouldn't be doing, and never did in WWE either. Like Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, who else? Just Jericho. I mean, my God, there's no way to let Jericho on television looking like that. So it's like,
he looks like a slab of meat that's been out way too long. Hi, Nick. I'm sorry I missed your show. Like I said at the beginning, my son's father was late, so I was just like, oh, well, no point in getting on now.
Oh, Nick is Mets fan. Let's go. Let's see. AEW TK is a fanboy. He's not a businessman. Punk mentioned in there, everyone who leaves sites the same thing with TK. He has a stacked roster. Can't book shit with it. Yeah, that's well said. Well, I mean, you brought up Vince Russo, and I'm sure you've seen the clips, but they all appeared on Piers Morgan's show talking about Vince.
Piers Morgan is a political guy, but then I thought, wait a second, politics and professional wrestling. Hello.
Yeah. They all appeared on Piers Morgan talking about Vince in the documentary. So it was Maven, Coachman, Jonathan Coachman, Vince Russo, Charlie Caruso, or whatever her name is now, and the newspaper guy that hates
Phil
Vince.
Mushnick.
Phil Mushnick.
Yeah, and Vince Russo went off on Phil Mushnick, said, I was a journalist. I went, no, you were barely a writer. What the heck are you talking about?
Vince Russo, I have too many Vinces. I keep saying Vince, but who are we talking about? Vince Russo insisted that he was a journalist because he went to Vince's press conference in 1991. And Mushnick didn't go. It's like, why didn't you go? Why didn't you go? Why'd you go, bro? Why didn't you go? So,
I'm a real journalist, bro. I was like, yeah. And I'm a writer. I can write better stuff than you can there, Vince Russo. And then, of course, someone had to be a little mark for Vince Russo. Oh, he was the greatest wrestler ever. I went, or greatest writer ever. I went, yeah, okay. If you're not joking, you're dumb as fuck.
Yep.
Because seriously.
Trump cut a wrestling promo that got him into the White House, wrestling his life.
Yeah, I mean, that very similar. And now Trump is going on the Undertaker podcast. Again, Trump is trying to remain relevant, and Mark is just doing a storyline. And with Kane too. So again, guys, professional wrestling and politics, very close, very similar. Yeah. It's getting ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, so yeah, he
But yeah, anyway, going back to Vince Russo, I mean, let's remember, everybody, this dude went to WCW, made himself the champion, and then literally made an actor, someone who's never wrestled a day in his life. He made David Arquette the wrestling champion, heavyweight wrestling champion. You might as well have just pissed in everybody else's face that had that belt.
Yep. So I have a couple clips between these two.
He made him heavyweight champion. Again, you are a joke of a person, Vince Russo, and you're sitting here acting like you're king shit and you know everything about wrestling. You don't know dick about anything.
Yeah. Look at this
All right,
bullshit.
see you, Nick.
All of a sudden, it's like, all of a sudden, Undertaker is like public enemy number one on the internet. It's like
Right.
Batista had final match in front of fans, last match in front of nobody. That was during the pandemic, so that makes no sense. Actually fought in MMA, only watched MMA. It's like, so what?
Yeah, so what?
How big? I don't understand what that means. Afraid of cucumbers. Yeah, Undertaker. He's famous for this now. I mean, ever since started podcasting, it's like this all come out that he's afraid of cucumbers. Even though I've been hearing that for years as like a wrestling rumor, Undertaker doesn't like cucumbers.
Oh, well, I mean, there was that. Remember the Percy rib? He
Yeah.
stuck in the tea. I'm like, I would have been like, Percy, I'm going to kill you.
Mhm.
He ribbed him good. Let's put it that way. He ribbed
Yeah.
him real good.
Walks fucking slow. Yeah, that was Undertaker's gimmick. Saves animals, does a podcast. Again, that's like it's a bad thing now. He's podcasting. I mean, I'm glad he's doing that show. That way, he's
Yeah, I
telling
love the
stories that
Undertaker's podcast. I mean, I have no problem with Mark. I just, like I said, I just think this is one big, hoggabaloo that, Mark is just a part of. It's just all kabuki theater. And I mean, if that's how if Mark is a conservative, fine. He has a
Yeah.
right to be conservative. I'm not going to, diss him. And if Batista's a liberal, fine, whatever. I think they're both wrong, but, that's just me.
Yeah, and then it keeps going. Buried alive 3 times. Yeah, that was an angle. Stood up for LeBron James against racists. Tried to meet LeBron James in gear and got ignored. I don't know that story, and I don't think LeBron James would ignore Undertaker, but because he was a wrestling fan. So, and this guy says, "I don't like Undertaker's politics, so now I'm going to minimize his accomplishments and pretend he isn't a legend or all-time great." An idiot. Yeah, that's what these people are doing now.
Yeah,
Look at
basically.
this is Batista today. Look at this guy. I mean, he looks like he lost all his muscle, and he looks
He looks like
kind
a
of
girl, like a
yeah. That's what
really
I'm saying.
bad looking girl.
Looks like a girl. Yeah, it's like what happened to all his muscle? Like, I mean, that was the only appeal he had was like that 300-pound behemoth, and now he's like, I'm bigger than Dave Batista. It's
I mean, he looks like a person recovering from CANCER.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or anything because I've
Uh-huh.
seen what those people look like, and he doesn't look good. He looks very frail. He doesn't look himself. I, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but like I said, I hate them both. I don't like
Yeah.
Trump, I don't like Harris. So, if they want to be that, fine, more power to you. It doesn't bother me and it doesn't affect my life. But yeah, Dave Bautista looks very sickly.
Yeah.
He definitely looks very sickly.
I'm
And I
curious to
said that,
see.
who did I
Mhm.
say that to? I think I said it to Kit. I'm like, Kit, he looks very sickly. He doesn't look anything like this. This doesn't look right, He's like out of proportion with himself.
Yeah, he doesn't look like that well. Not at all. And he just doesn't look that well right now. So you have Obama looks sick. Castro screaming from the grave, even your women hate capitalism. But
I
all
mean, we
right.
all hate capitalism because it really hasn't benefited us.
So yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what Donald Trump says on Undertaker's podcast. So and he had the other, he appeared in other. He's been doing like a shit ton of podcasts and appearances and stuff, and he's been, he's gonna do Joe Rogan as well, and I think right before the election. So let's see. So he
Again, this
did,
is just Trump trying to be relevant and playing the
yeah,
game because, Harris won't show up anywhere. Again, don't care, guys, because I'm not for either one and I'm
yeah,
not sticking up for anybody. But I mean, you don't have to go on all these. I mean, she just did a Firefox. Sorry, she just did a Fox News one. And someone had mentioned that she got all over Tulsi because Tulsi went on Fox News. I think it was Alex that said
hmm
this, and I agree with him. Screw her. She's the one who was like, "Oh, you shouldn't go on Fox News." Blah 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 blah. Yeah, you shouldn't go on Fox News because it's all the same bullcrap. He never asked her about Israel, and they never asked her about Ukraine, never asked about any of that stuff. So again, Fox News is nothing but CNN and MSNBC for the right. I mean, it's all bull crap, and it's all bad for you.
Yeah.
Just
So
watch us. Watch Angel in the Afternoon. Watch INN, because those guys, they tell you the truth. So watch them.
thank you. But let's see. But yeah, Trump is gonna do Undertaker's podcast, and I'm sure they're mostly gonna talk about wrestling because I don't unless
And I hope so. Yeah. I mean, it would give, and again, not sticking up for him, but it would give Trump a nice, relaxing, hey, let's talk about wrestling. Let's not talk about politics.
yeah, because
Trump will try to squeeze the politics in there, but definitely I would, especially because WrestleMania 4 and 5 were at the Trump Plaza.
yeah.
So let's talk about that. Let's how did you feel about the Trump Plaza hosting WrestleMania 4 and 5? Were you excited to see all the wrestlers that came out? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I would be interested in hearing. I don't give a fuck about the politics, but
Yeah,
that Trump
and
is
I'm
going to
sure
squeeze it in there.
and I'm sure Trump has plenty of stories, so they can get into that. So that's
I mean,
something
how
I would
many
play on the
wrestlers
show
did
here.
Trump meet? That I would love to hear that. How many wrestlers did Trump get to meet? Did he get to meet
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan? I'm sure he did. Randy
Yeah.
Savage, same thing, Yeah, ask him about wrestling. Don't talk about politics. It would give Trump a nice, relaxing, okay, we're going to talk about wrestling instead of politics,
Yeah.
You can relax and recoup.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so that's why I thought kind of like, okay, well, as long as they stick to a lot of pro wrestling and maybe not much politics, they'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's going, but I'm sure that the liberals on liberal trolls and Democrats in this X, they're going to clip the shit out of this and put it all over the internet and attack Trump. So and attack Undertaker. And also Undertaker is like, oh well, he wasn't that great after all, guys. He sucked. He walked slow. He didn't really do much. And Batista was better. And it's like, I mean, it's like how it's just
Batista
outrageous.
wasn't better. Batista wasn't better.
No, I mean it's like
he got a chance because he worked out with Triple H. That's not talent. That's just a lucky break.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's not talent. I mean he just happened to get in with the boss or the son-in-law.
The son-in-law,
After,
right? And then he joined that thing with him and Triple H and Ric Flair, and we got a big break. Oh, whoopee, But for his wrestling skill, I give him an F on the wrestling.
Yep.
And again, on F on the acting too, because I couldn't stand Guardians of the Galaxy because of him.
Yeah, so start migrating over to the other platforms. You get
All
ready
right, here we go,
55
Rumble.
right now.
See you, YouTube.
It's like 5 minutes, but yeah, I'm gonna start migrating over. My battery's almost dead.
On your phone or on your computer?
No, my
both?
phone. My phone.
Yeah, I'm at 50%. Nope, 48.
Yeah, so it's just my phone. Let's see. Yeah.
In my defense, I've been watching YouTube all day
Yeah.
on my phone, so.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna start migrating over there soon because it's 8:55 and I'm probably gonna need to start. I mean the Yankees are playing right now, so we're not gonna be on until like 10 or 10 something. So let's see. So I'm gonna start turn this off.
Well, see you later to YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you over on Rumble.
Yeah, just start migrating over there. Let's see. So let's just stop this. All right, that's that. I got to stop it on the INN YouTube channel as well. So just give me a minute. So yeah, we'll get to some clips in a moment here. Just gotta. Let's see. So that's the. Okay, here we go. And stream. So yeah, that's wrapped up. Oh, the subscriber count's going up. I'm
Nice.
at 336, so it's like okay, but that's
Nice.
and I'm getting more views on my stuff too. So make sure that we're off before I do anything here. Yeah, Alex should be on any minute. So
for all those joining us on Rumble, hello Rumble, nice to see you.
yeah,
And make sure you go and subscribe to Angel. Hey, Pro Wrestling Talk fans. Just want to let you know that our outro is AI generated. Again, our outro is AI generated. Please catch us on Pro Wrestling Talk every Saturday at 8 p.m. But just know that times are scheduled to change. Have a great one, guys.
Under neon lights, the bell rings loud. In this dusty barn, there's a rowdy crowd. A small town hero with hopes held high. In the square circle, he's ready to fly. From the school gym days with dreams in tow, he wrestled hard, took every blow. Fell off the ropes, got back in line. Every bump and bruise a badge divine. Ringside glory, tales of fame. In a world where only the tough remain. With sweat and pride he earns his name. Living for the match, it's more than a game. His mama prays and daddy cheers. Through the jeers and all the fears. For every slam and every pin. Under those lights he's out to win. He's got his cowboy boots and his neon tights. Ready to brawl on those Saturday nights. With a lariat swing like a country song. In the heart of the fight, he's where he belongs. Ringside glory, tales of fame. In a world where only the tough remain. With sweat and pride, he earns his name. Living for the match, it's more than a game. Safe indeed, you fails again. And that's a wrestle's fate, so the burst is in. Last time his ghost seems to be free. He might distant me, so I found me. Ringside glory, tales of fame. In a world where only the tough remain. With sweat and pride he earns his name. Living for the match, it's more than a game. Living for the match, it's more than a game. Living for the match, it's more than a game.